All right, good morning, everyone. Todd Ferguson here with Accelerators Organization, coming to you live with a mentor session. We've got 4 questions we're going to go through and hopefully help some people out. And remember, guys, you can ask these through the portal on the app. So any questions that you guys might have throughout your week, throughout your day, whether it's accounting, human resources, team building, sales, whatever it is, anything that you're struggling with in your business, just make sure you guys throw that in the app so you can get several mentors to give you their experience on those, and hopefully that helps you out. So just a little bit about me. I live in Southwest Missouri. We are in the warehousing and logistics space. We're also in the e-commerce space, and we also are in the self-storage space. So we're going to use those backgrounds and those experiences to hopefully answer some of these questions. So this very first question comes from Bobby. Bobby asked, how do I get more focused on fewer things that will actually get me better results? And so the business description and background of the question says, I'm a general contractor. I also do some property rentals as an investor. I'm looking to bring a new mezcal brand to the United States. I have a lot going on, but my day-to-day money is my general contracting business. I'm not super organized, not great with computers. I'm very hands-on, use paper files. I know there's better ways to do this, but I don't know where to start. I have Sean as a business coach now, but wanted to get your thoughts on how to get more focused in your life and your business. So I think as an entrepreneur, based on my experience, being very focused, especially when you have multiple businesses going on, is very challenging. And so the way you set up your day really matters. And I think the easiest way to get started being focused and being organized is to really use a calendar system. So there's Google Calendar, there's Outlook, there's tons of different things that you can use. But calendaring every single thing that you are doing in your business. So you put that on your calendar. When somebody wants to do a meeting with you or wants to do a presentation to you, or you've got whatever it is, you just put that on your calendar. And so we color code our calendar for family, for business, and then for personal time. And so we color code that. I also color code based on the different businesses that I have. And so there's things that are set that are reoccurring that you just know pop up all the time, like our leadership meetings happen every Friday. So that's automatically something on our calendar that is reoccurring. But really using your calendar to schedule your day would be the very first thing as far as getting more organized. But how to get more focused is really figuring out, you've already identified things that you're not good at or that you don't do well. And so those are the things that I would hire for first. So that way you don't have to worry about that. So anything that really has to do with computer, what else did you say? You're not organized, so maybe it's an admin assistant that gets you organized, that does all that stuff for you. But really figuring out what makes you the most money and what gives you the best return for your time. Oftentimes I find that when I make a to-do list that I end up doing the things that really don't matter first. And so I know Andy Frisella talks about this in some of his podcasts, and I think it's How to Win the Day, maybe is what the title of it is. But he talks about identifying 3 things that you really, really, really have to get done to move your business forward, knocking those out, and then the rest of your day is either, you can do the stuff that doesn't matter, that you want to get done, you can hire that off, or you have that free time. And so those are the things that I would do. Calendar, so make sure calendar that. Hire for the things that you don't want to do, don't like to do, or not good at. And then also really prioritizing your to-do list or the things that make you the most money or give you the most return on your time. So Bobby, hopefully that helps. Next question comes from Carl. Carl says, how often should I be meeting with my team to keep a great company culture and prevent any team conflicts? So business description and background of questions. It says, this from Carl, says, I have a residential and commercial cleaning company in New Jersey and a team of 8 people. 4 of those are W-2, with 1 being someone I'm trying to turn into a team manager. We do not have an office. So we do not do full team meetings. We use texting for communication, and I speak to our team daily as we get out there and work side by side. We do well. I want to level up. I want to grow this company. What could you suggest on how I better my culture, increase my team loyalty, and grow the company? That's a really great question, Carl. So a couple of things that really pop out at me when we talk about this is, number one, texting for communication. We use a program called Slack. I know there's other types of programs, but I don't know how it would run my business, especially with multiple employees, multiple locations, basically what you're doing. Slack is a great tool. There's a free version, there's a paid version. The free version is fine just to get started. The paid version keeps your messages for so long. But as far as creating cohesion in your company and communication, I think Slack would be a big thing. The better we can communicate with our team, the better our team, they feel like we're fully invested. They feel like they're heard. And so the better we can communicate with our team, then that's a start. And so Slack would be something I would really look into. You can put it on a desktop, you can put it on a phone. There are several people that do great things with Slack inside of AO. We're fairly versed in it, so if you need help, feel free to reach out. But that would be the first thing. The second thing is, I believe that would work great. We do team huddles with our team every morning, and I know you don't have an office. I know that you're kind of spread out, but you could do them through Zoom. Zoom is super inexpensive. You can do it on your phone. But really setting the tone for the day with your team, having that team huddle. 5 to 10 minutes. Doesn't need to be long, doesn't need to be drawn out, but it needs to be, hey, this is what we got going on today. This is who's doing what. Here's any concerns, any compliments, anything that happened from yesterday, and really setting the tone to make sure everybody is on the same page. And then the second one is, as far as you talk about bettering your company culture and increasing loyalty. So one thing we do is we have a monthly luncheon. We celebrate birthdays. We celebrate year anniversaries. Every quarter we recognize the employee of the quarter. And so that's something you could do. Even though you don't have an office, you could find one place that you guys could eat once a month and get your team together, create that camaraderie, create that company culture, give a gift card, give a praise, do whatever it is. But people want to feel loved. They want to feel valued. They want to feel wanted. They want to feel heard. And so those are some things that I would really consider doing that have worked well for us. So finding a way to communicate with your team effectively. I don't think that's texting, but that's just my personal opinion. Doing some type of team huddle, whether maybe that's at the end of the day or the beginning of the day. We do the beginning just to set the tone, and then also coming together once a month as a team, eating, doing whatever, and really celebrating your wins. So hopefully that helps, Carl. Next question comes from Madeline. Madeline says, how do I start figuring out what would be my best first company? Business description and background of question. She says, I know this is a tough question to answer, so maybe you could help me by explaining how you found your calling and built your company. How did you know it was the company you should start? I come from a very low income background. I've been in and out of 2 abusive relationships, and I'm now gaining confidence, building the next chapters of my life. I'm a good speaker. I'm a trainer for medical assistants. I'm a hard worker. How do I take my training, experience, and communication skills to find out what business would be good for me to start? Thanks. So the very first thing that I see in here is I really believe that working on your mindset, you're talking about how you come from a low income background, 2 abusive relationships, and how you're gaining confidence. I would continue to work on that. I would continue to read books. Mindset is a great book by Carol DeWick. That's something you can listen to, you can read. I would do that, but I would really start working on your mindset first, and the way you view yourself and the way you see yourself, and how confident you can become when you're starting a business, when you're talking to, whether it's potential investors, employees, people that are going to mentor, people that are going to help you grow your business. That's the first thing. But when you say your best first company, most people that I have come in contact with, their very first company they started is not the company they're doing now, and it's not going to be your best first company. Generally, you got to fail a few times in order to get to the company that you're doing. I don't even know how many companies we started. I've probably started a half dozen or so, maybe more companies, and I'm sure the other mentors have too, before we got to the businesses that we're in now. And for me, it was just finding, anytime you can solve a problem in the area that you're in, you're going to make a ton of money. You're going to be able to get customers. You're going to be able to have a sustainable business. So when you can fix a problem in whatever area it is, that is the best way to fill a need and start a business. But for us, like in the warehousing, that was it just happened to be something that we saw was a need. It's not like, oh, I thought I want to run a warehouse. I want to be in logistics. I never thought of that, but it just happened. Now I enjoy it. Now I like it. I couldn't say that I was going to start this business 10 years ago. It just kind of happened. And so I think the more people you can meet, the more questions you can ask, the more you can introduce yourself to people and really just start learning would be the big thing. And the easiest way to do that would be just to start with where you are and the things that you know about. So you're talking about you're a good speaker. So what can you do? How can you make money as a speaker? You're a trainer for medical assistants. How can you make money with that? What problems are you seeing in that industry? What things you say, man, I wish there was something like this, or I wish this existed. That is usually the best place to start, in my opinion, when you're looking to start a business. But again, start with your confidence, the way you're talking to yourself, your mindset, and then really find those holes on the things that you're doing and build those relationships, and it'll come to you. So hopefully that helps, Madeline. All right, next question comes from Alex. Alex says, how do I become a better leader in my service-based business? So business description and background of question. I have a design landscape business where we do custom curbing, trim, retaining walls, etc. It requires more skill than normal landscaping work, and I'm having the toughest time training people and leveling them up enough to trust them where I can build several teams and know the work is getting done sufficiently for the customers and taking care of our equipment. I have very high standards in both the skill and effort, and I feel like my team doesn't care like I do and doesn't work as hard as I do. How do I get them to level up and to do better? And how do I find 1 to 2 people to make great team leaders and grow my business? It's very mentally tough for me sometimes, and I think I should just do things on my own and not grow. Man, there's a lot to unpack here, Alex. And I know, like you talk about, like the quality of work is super important to you. I know you have super high standards. But as far as becoming a better leader learns how to ask really good questions. They learn how to ask the right questions. And that's something that I work on my team with, is even the difference between open-ended and closed-ended questions. And instead of telling your team, you want to help them understand things. And so the better you can become at asking questions, I really believe the better leader you are, and letting them speak. The whole point of asking questions is to help them become good problem solvers, to help them be able to think on their feet by themselves and not always giving them the answer and not always talking at them or to them. It's really asking a question to check for clarification and let them talk. So either, when you're asking a question, maybe it's around, you talk about trusting them, or you talk about, what did it say here? Getting work done sufficiently for customers and taking care of equipment. So whenever you recognize things are not being done, you need to ask questions for clarification. So maybe they left the mixer out overnight and it shouldn't be. I don't know if that's true or not, but you would ask qualifying questions to them on why they did that. Because either usually it's I don't care, or they didn't know. And if they didn't know, then we have to take ownership as on us as a leader and work backwards from that problem and figure out what we need to do better for training. But so you work on your communication would be the first thing. Work on how to ask good questions, and then the trust issue is just going to have to come. And so generally when somebody can do something 80% as good as you as a leader, as a CEO, CFO, whatever that is, and you can replace yourself in those tasks, then you're going to win long term. Nobody is ever going to care as much as us as owners and entrepreneurs. It might happen, but very rarely is anybody ever going to care as much as us, is going to work as hard as us. And that's why we're in the position that we're in, is because we have something extra. We have something special, and we just need to fill in the gaps with good teammates. And so you talk about how do you find people that can make good team leaders. It's investing in those people over periods of time. It's bringing them to events at Sean's. It's getting them training. There's tons of stuff online. There's stuff inside of AO, inside the portal, that can help them become better leaders. Like I said, bringing them to events. And you might have to actually go out and recruit these people. I know Eric has some, I think, or maybe Eric or Jonathan, I don't remember, Habercorn, they have some great ways to find talent. And sometimes it's for higher level people, but there are ways to do that online, or even going out and recruiting people, competitors, going to job fairs yourselves, talking to people, and then really invest in those people. And then it's just up to you whether or not you want to grow your business or whether or not you want to do it on your own. I will tell you, it is easier, we think, to do it on our own. We think, man, I can control the controllables, I can make all the money I want, I can do all that. But for me, again, this is just my experience, the time freedom that I get by hiring a team training them well, communicating well with them, the time freedom that I get for myself, for my family, for the things that I want to do to think about other businesses, to start other businesses, grow their businesses, that is invaluable. We cannot get the time back. And so when you are a solopreneur, and you know this, in the day-to-day, doing everything yourself, your time, you're basically trading your time for your dollars. You're creating a job for yourself. And yes, that's better, in my opinion, better than working for somebody else. But when you have the options to grow a team and become a better leader, and then you get that time back and you can do the things you want to do with your family and for yourself, that to me is where it's at. So work on your communication, work on asking the right questions, really identify, whether it's a training issue and why people either they don't care or they're not getting stuff done. And then really look at, if you don't have those people that are team leaders already in your business, you've got to find them. And then how do you find them would be recruiting, networking, going to events, and then reaching out to people that know how to find those people online. So everybody, thanks for the great questions. Hopefully that helped. If those didn't help, or if you have questions about any of that, feel free to shoot me a direct message through Facebook Messenger, Instagram, or just reach out to me through here. So everybody, thanks. Have a great afternoon, and we'll talk to everybody soon. Thanks.